Hello! This is Goyadic Supremacy. I am Kunagusis, and with me is my friend...
Icarix, that is me.
Yes, we are doing a campaign as Carthage in the Et Impera mod for round 2. More specifically playing as the BARCIDS dynasty. Got extra challenge.
Ooh, Carthage, that's my favourite.
Yeah, so you don't know shit about Carthage.
Yes, that is correct. I do not know shit about Carthage. Please explain it to me.
Yeah, well, the main thing is, in this campaign, I'm getting my research, lower the taxes, have the taxes lowered. As you do, it's the best thing to do for anyone to maximise growth and public order. Checking the brief political situation. There's bugger all really, and not really worth commentating about at the moment.
Because that's everyone's favourite thing about warfare. Battle plans and strategies and no action whatsoever.
And yes, me picking a good governor. Because military governors are important in DEI.
Governor who's war hungry, baby.
Well, that's not the idea of the military governors. They're not supposed to be fighting. For defence, sure. Yes, my faction leader in Sicily. Just moving him into friendly territory so I can start recruiting troops. Not like they'll actually be useful for anything. Oh, and then we get a cut into Spain. And just building up the infrastructure in Hispania.
That's a lot of infrastructures.
Just building the muster barracks so I can get some basic troops. Trash, but still something. I think I'm contemplating, yeah, I start building up Ebosun so I can get the Balearic Slingers. Because you can't go wrong with Balearic Slingers.
Oi, what's up with Balearian Slingers?
Balearic Slingers, and they're some of the best slingers you can get in the game. And in antiquity. Yeah, starting recruiting some basic local troops. Iberian levies and unit Carisi, which is like an Iberian medium cav unit. Passing it in Carthage. Here comes the wood bit.
Wasting the day on you. What you say?
Yeah, whenever you're trying to get trade agreements or whatnot, milk as much cash as you can. It's very useful.
Yes, because that's the answer to everyone's problems.
Listen
Just
to
throw a
you,
bunch of money
do
in
not
front
pass
of
the
them.
day
That'll
in
sort
words
everything
without
else.
merit.
Yeah, well, in this case, you know, the idea is simply to just get as much cash when you're making agreements. Not much to show than just those first two, so we cut the rest out. And start using that money for something.
Fun fact, this guy never uses any other strategies in dealing with diplomacies. He always just throws money in their way.
I'm not throwing money at them, I'm asking them for money.
All the same.
But yeah, just you see me just contemplating what the hell to do. It's been a while since we actually recorded this, so...
Yes, so his memory is as good as mine.
Yes.
Which is not very good at all.
Pretty much. Clearly I'm putting a governor into Gadir. Partly I think to protect it, but still. I always go for the Sacred Band because they're cheap as hell. Well, not cheap as hell, but they're cheap compared to the other bodyguards.
How so?
Because they're not cavalry.
Oh, what are they then?
They're infantry.
Oh, right.
They're basically like very heavy hoplites.
Wow, okay.
Well, but they're pretty cool though, they're pretty badass.
Yeah? How
Yeah.
badass?
Well, they're very hardy, and they're just really cool to look at. And even historically, you know, they're basically the richest citizens of Carthage.
Right, right.
They're recruiting some levies. Like a Sicilian and yeah, Syracusan levies. Stealing food, as you know. And then turn. Nothing to show, so we go straight into the next turn here. As you see, I'm trying to figure out what the hell. I'm getting my bearings here. Seeing all the little notifications.
Seeing all the battle strategies of the AI's turn is not important. I mean, like,
Well, at this stage, the AI is doing fuck all. Like, I'm only technically at war with Epirus, but they're not going to be doing anything to me at all in this campaign. In fact, later on, they'll be helping me out when I'm fighting Rome, but that will be for another good while. Yeah. Disband them, just so I can kind of save up cash.
Where do you think you're going to place them?
I think I'm going to probably... I don't remember. I think I'm going to send him off. Yeah, I'm sending him off to look for more factions to trade with. See, the thing is, with supplies is a major thing in DEI. And a fleet that's just like your admiral will not have any problems regarding supplies. Whereas if you have any other units in your navy, they have about 8 turns until they'll start taking attrition from a lack of supplies. Unless you dock them somewhere, so yeah. So you get rid of that unit of Libyan javelin men. Pretty sure they're Libyans.
I noticed that you were briefly, like, going through an uncharted route in the sea or something.
Yeah, I just start sending that fleet over towards Massalia, and so I can find more factions to trade with. Because I can make more money, but you'll see that I think I'll probably start exploring more of the map by sea, just so I can find more factions to trade. And yeah, recruit more Iberian levies there. I look through the mercenaries I can recruit, because Carthage specialises in mercenaries.
Iberian levies, I'll give you that much.
They're just useful at this stage. See, I can compare it to the Balearic levies, they're just a tiny bit better. So I recruit them just because they can throw javelins. Iberian levies can throw javelins, Balearic levies don't.
Right.
On to the next turn. As you can see, my agent got exposed, but that doesn't really mean anything right now.
Must be a shitty agent.
It just happens, you know. Build a farm in Africa, you know, to get that food going.
That must be what they want you to think. Maybe they want you to think that you was caught through sheer dumb luck, but I'd say it was just shitty agency skills.
And I'm starting to upgrade. Well, actually, not even upgrading Acrogas. I think I was looking over and considering doing that. But yes.
Ready for battle.
Yes, as he says.
Battle. Are you sure, man? Because you don't really seem to be going into battle anytime soon now. All I see is just more battle plans and strategies being placed. Not a lot of action on this end, but...
Yeah, well, there won't be a bit of action until a wee bit until I attack Arce. I usually have to take my time in the early days.
So he's a liar then? He's
Well,
not ready for battle. He's just waiting to...
He might be ready for battle. He might be ready for battle, but it's me who's telling whether or not to go and fight, so yeah. I just, check to see what I can give him, any ancillaries, or even just to see where he's close to leveling up. Yeah, you can see I'm building an iron building there, so I can make use of the iron resource.
Why don't you build yourself an iron wall there?
I can't build an iron wall. All the iron building chain does either gives you one, you can either produce loads of iron, useful for trade, you can just make more direct cash from iron, or you can make a weaponsmith or an armorsmith.
I welcome you, worthy speaker. I listen because your people are known to have honor.
Yes, the Ligurians. They make for pretty good mercenaries.
And speak as you wish, without fear of consequence or danger.
Because one of the units...
You and your army.
That's Massalia.
Excellent.
He said I could speak without... He said I could speak without fear. I'm just like letting open my mouth.
Well, Massalia at the moment, I think I'm pretty good terms with Massalia. I know here I am, but yeah. But yeah, the Ligurians make for some pretty good mercenary troops for Carthage. You can recruit Ligurian spears. And they're pretty neat. But yeah, so... yeah, you'll see what happened, how I kind of cocked up with Corsica and Sardinia much later on in the campaign. Not in this session, but in a much later one.
Why, what happens?
Civil War. I wasn't paying attention to the politics. And the Hannanids...
You're usually one to pay attention to politics. That's not like you at all.
I just kind of just didn't bother. I just noticed, yeah, the Hannanids seem to absolutely hate me, but you know what, whatever.
Why don't you just like offer to give them money or ask for money?
Well,
like you normally
well,
do.
see, this is the not diplomacy. This is like your inner faction politics.
Oh no.
Like I could have made efforts to try and get loyalty from them, but I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. I just stopped paying attention and they ended up succeeding, and they ended up taking Corsica and Sardinia with them.
Keep your eyes off the battlefield for a second, otherwise you end up in civil wars.
Yeah, well, shut up. I got careless. Sometimes that shit happens. Doesn't matter. Anyways, we shouldn't really be talking about this because it's way too far ahead.
You're the one who brought it up, man.
Yeah, well, just to get that spy there, and I'm starting to, I think, look over some mercenaries. What I can look for, yeah. considering what mercs I can get. I probably don't think I'm recruiting. Yeah, I just started looking like I'm ending turn. Jezebel leveled up. Yeah, get her skill points. Or skills, wither points. Next turn, logistics is researched, so I think that lets me get champions.
You're probably full of knowledge by now.
Well, I know enough how to play this game.
No, I'm talking about, like, the army, man.
Let's see. Yeah. I started recruiting some Libyan infantry and Libyan hoplites. Again, they're not very good, but they'll do.
Why? How are they not so good?
Because Libyan infantry are utter dogshit trash. Well, that's a bit harsh to say. Libyan hoplites are very light hoplites. They're decent enough, but granted, with the reforms, they become much better.
Yeah?
They in the Rails reforms. Oh yes, I got my faction leader married. Wedding bells, wedding bells. But yeah, in your Theraeus reforms, which you get in turn 60, your Libyan hoplites become Libyan Phoenician hoplites, which means they're a little bit heavier. Then your thorax reforms, they become Libyan Phoenician thorax spears.
Oh, another shitty agent out of the field.
That's my yes, but my governor got a level up.
Well, that's a nice compensation. You got a shitty agency, but at least your governor gets leveled up.
Well, that's good for your economy.
Nice.
And I put my champion into this army, so he's going to start training them up and give them experience. Because experience is important in DEI.
Experience is like the way of life, basically.
Ready for orders.
Yeah, well, starting to recruit some, get some mercenaries.
He's like a Dalek just going, ready for orders.
Yeah, well, that's just plain creative assembly for giving them very little actual unique dialogue bits.
I can't play in creative assembly, it's fun. and it's funny.
Yes, in it. Ah yes, I'm recruiting some mercenaries Qatari. And the Aravaki painted warriors, I think. Well, I'll certainly get those Gallic guys. Yeah,
Sure, I don't
Aravaki.
play creative assembly that much. They gave me Alien Isolation, one of my favorite survival games of all time.
Yeah, so they might be good for that department, but many fans have been having issues with them regarding the Total War games.
And no, I'm not trying to cross-promote them, viewers. I'm just saying, I'm just speaking my mind.
Aren't you always? Yeah, put these guys in fortified position. I think, yeah, see, I'm going to fight the Editani and take their settlement of Arce, or Arse.
I'm sorry, I couldn't resist.
Oh yeah, sure. In Vanilla Rome 2, there's a settlement.
Athena gives wisdom, and Ares gives strength. I give you peace, if you will dare it.
Yeah, Emperors wanted peace. I'm playing with Age of Hellenism, so they are named Iakidai. But still Epirus, just different name.
Of course
Yeah.
you ask for more money.
Oh, I was asking for money. I was just seeing, I wasn't too mad about accepting peace because with them, because I don't want to piss off Rome too early.
A bit bloodthirsty there, don't
My
you think?
lord,
What? Emperors aren't really going to do much. Okay, yeah, I recruit that sacred band.
fighters.
Can't go wrong with a sacred band.
What instruments do they play? Because I'm just saying, like, if they're a sacred band, that must mean that, like, their instruments or just, like, their musical skills must be out of this world, man.
Well, you never know. After all, these are a bunch of rich boys. Yeah, the sacred band of Carthage was basically consisting of the richest citizens of Carthage equipping themselves. So yeah, Mauritania. Yeah, shrine to Bat al Hamon. What's so funny about Bat al Hamon?
Well, I don't know, I've just heard that term so many times, Baal Halmon, in pretty much every one of these
Yeah.
villages. It gets kind of funny after a while,
Yeah.
different variations of they speak it.
Well yeah, because Bat al Hamon is like a chief god of Carthage.
Spoken well of you, and so we offer a treaty.
The Dorsey wanted non-aggression. I refused.
Give me all your money.
The Guri wanted non-aggression.
You wise woman, and all speak of a treaty.
I refused them.
He just rejected them. All right.
By law,
Carthaginians wanted non-aggression,
treaty between us.
and I accepted. So a bunch of level ups. Let's just see. So I think this is the final moment. Yeah, this is the moment.
Welcome.
I declare war on the Editani.
Yeah, where we get to see some action, baby.
Yeah, and then I begin to fight for arse. For their arse.
For you, my lord.
This is for ours. Oh, come on,
Yeah.
get to the Battle of Ars already.
So yeah, as you see, I kind of begin to hover around. And we begin to enter the battle.
Stop saying, just fight, damn it.
Here we are at the Battle of Arce, not to be confused with Ars.
Yes.
If you were wondering.
Yes, our first battle is at the settlement of Arce. So, as you can perhaps see, the bulk of my force is here. My cavalry is deployed here. This is about my usual arrangement when I attack settlements. I like to split my army up. And my Iberian levies are all planted here. As you'll see, from this direction is where the enemy reinforcements are coming. So I quickly do turn these good boys around to face them. Though they don't last. They last a while, they do their job decently. But anyways.
I bet they did.
Yeah. So my Balearic slingers do their job soon. Start to fire. Doing the job they're supposed to do. Hurl some balls.
Really? Just balls? Okay, not very effective. I would have gone with like bow and arrows, but short stone or worthy replacement, I guess.
Well, see, as they did historically, they're very good at that. Hurling balls of stone or lead and shit.
Very impressive.
Oh yeah, they were famous for it.
You're a man skilled at what he does. Can't argue with that.
Yeah. So yeah, soon my infantry will engage. So they're all hurling their javelins.
Very light javelins.
Well, you know. Yeah, those are my levies. They're trash, but they do their job fine.
Yeah, sure, they're safe all the way over there.
Well, yeah, I suppose, but they're going to be dealing with this onslaught, which is worse than this.
Still, they've got a little group of minutes to enjoy the rest of their lives.
So now my Gauls are moving in. Yeah, the Gauls have their flashy gear. That's because of a mod I'm using. The Celtic models Extravaganza. Pretty fun, especially the Nanothorax and Gauls.
The one gigantic party.
Yeah.
Playing and murdering each other.
Yep, pretty much. Yeah, so my Iberian cavalry moved in, attacking the ranged troops here and hitting these guys. Their swords. Whereas my Libyans are moving in to fight these guys here. And about to have my levies clash with these guys. The reinforcing army. I probably wasn't paying close attention at that stage. I don't really remember. I'm trying to juggle two different fronts.
You can't make mistakes in war, man. It's for luck.
Oh yeah. But, yeah, so the levies do their job holding here. We'll get to them shortly. Let's see now. These are my Scutari. They're doing their job. See if I can find them. Oh, here they are.
Yeah, there they are.
Now, it's hard to tell Spaniard from Spaniard. Or Iberian in this case.
Well, that's war for you. When you're fighting, you can't tell who you're with.
True. So as you begin to see, I'm moving some of my hoplites over to help my levies.
Or as I like to call them, the A force. They look like a literal A.
Nice up there.
This one looks like a backwards K force. You've got the A force and K force. That's very handy. It's very handy to notice. Oh no! Now it's the number 4 force.
Okay. So that's going there.
Never ends.
I am playing with the longer battles submod, slower battles submod. So battles are extra long for me to play and for you to sit through. You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
I aim to please. There's knows what Blacker's firing squad said. They aim to please. Yes. Goldberry Kodoras. So we see more of my Libyans engaging.
Yeah. How
Yeah,
the
my Libyan
Iberians
spears are
doing?
charging towards these routing guys.
How are the Iberians doing?
Let's have a gander, shall we? Well, these guys are starting to rout. These guys are about holding on. But they're about to rout, looks like. And yet they've broken the cowards.
Get back and fight, you cowards!
And they're about to break. So yeah, as you can see.
Soldiers!
Well, they're levies, not exactly, but just simple lads with spears and shields fighting.
Is not an option.
My general arrives though.
Our Lord and Master.
Yeah, they're giving the rally and inspire. Helps them fight a little better and longer whilst these guys are arriving.
Yeah, sure, that sounds efficient. Give a rallying speech while your men are dying all around you. That sounds efficient.
Well, yeah, got Balair Extinguisher moving in. The idea is to have them go behind the enemy and just shoot their balls at them. Which, you know, works pretty well. My cavalry moving in.
The birds
So my Libyans are fighting these Iberians. And they're winning. And otherwise the Libyans are pretty hot trash.
Really now?
That's my experience, they're usually not great. The only Libyan style infantry they're actually good at are Tereos, which you don't get for a while as Carthage. Well, about 60 turns in.
Underrates.
Yeah, well that's just the way the reforms work for Carthage.
Quickly now.
The progress is slow. What can you do?
Big old brawl going on. There's another cow coming in here. Probably planning to have them rear charge these guys. My sacred band are joining, I'm afraid. And those rich boys. Well, basically what they were, a bunch of rich Phoenicians. Although I'm not sure they really should have existed at this time. From what I'm aware of, they would have probably gone out at this time period. But
How'd you figure that?
huh? Well, this takes place not far off the Punic Wars, and I believe by the time the Punic Wars, the Sycophant probably ceased to exist.
What do you think happened to them?
I think the idea was simply that Carthage wouldn't have wanted to rely too much on their citizens to fight. They would have relied increasingly on mercenaries. And so, considering the Sacred Band consisted of the wealthy Phoenician citizens of Carthage.
But doesn't every army technically have citizens and it's not begging law, basically?
Usually they would have consisted of citizens, but in the case of Carthage, they didn't really want to use their citizens too much. Instead, they relied a lot on mercenaries from the book of their armies. So the only people that were really citizens were usually just their generals.
Wow. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, Carthage had the funds to rely on that.
Oh yeah, sure, they had the money and everything.
Oh yeah, they were a very rich trading power. They had a full-time navy. That was about it. Their armies were mostly mercenaries. Well, they were a superpower at the time. They had the misfortune of going up against Rome. You don't mess with the Romans, they're very stubborn people.
Very violent as well.
Oh yes, they are very violent, but they're also very, very stubborn. They don't take losing as an excuse to give up.
Well, that's why they collapse. Sure, that's why they eventually collapse.
Yeah.
Stubbornness is the at the end.
Libyans have engaged, the Libyan hoplites have engaged. There's any other decent Libyans or Libyan hoplites. Balearic slingers. They're about to fire on these guys if they're not already firing. They're already firing.
With the fire, I
Libyan infantry there. About to charge in. And see, these guys are about to break. Yep, they're about to chain route. And they have chain routed. Now we are just into the routing phase, which isn't really worth much to comment on. Ooh, that choppy frame rate. Considering, you know, it's just me trying to pick off what's left of the enemy, especially the routing reinforcing army. So there's less of them to deal with.
Aww.
But you know, pretty good job overall, though I'm not sure if my Iberian levies will have to say the same thing. Well, there's probably too many of them that are dead to complain, so... Yeah, how many kills my Libyans got? Decent kills, actually, yeah. Pretty good kills the Libyans got. Basically, this is, I think, the only battle where they used the Libyans. The Libyan infantry and spears. Here we have the mercenary Gaulish sword band.
What are the Gabarities doing?
They're just having a good old rest and hide. Playing a bit of hide and seek.
That's how they do it. Okay, very strange way to go about it.
Well, you know yourself.
Everyone has their quirks, apparently.
Yep. Anyways, suppose we'll leave it at that. And yeah, so that was that battle. It was a pretty solid victory, you'll find at the end. Well, as you see, I start merging what's left of my Iberian levies after they took pretty heavy losses and were involved in some pretty messy fighting. in that battle.
Whatever.
And I start putting in the skills, Commander Men and Military Logician, because those are good for later.
A man has many faces.
And I start
Man
picking
has
on to
many
do
faces. That is
Balsamid.
just Game of Thrones levels of logic right there, man. It's like a girl has no name. That's just copyright infringement there, man.
Did you realize this game was probably made before Game of Thrones? Certainly before it became popular.
The books were definitely written before this, so like there's that.
Yeah, but who cared about Game of Thrones before the TV series?
I'm pretty sure people who read the books cared about that.
Of course, but who the hell read the books compared to the vast amount of people now who seem to suddenly give a shit?
Why don't we just drop the subject altogether?
Yeah, it's kind of getting a bit nonsensical. So yeah, I start recruiting more Iberian levies to protect Gadir. Not like that did much good.
Apologies to Game of Thrones readers the world over.
I haven't watched or read Game of Thrones, so... And... yeah, looking over the barracks I can potentially build. It's in Carthage, but not much I could build because my money was tight. Yeah, so
Really?
Italic culture was
Your
growing.
money is tight after all those trade agreements that you went through.
Well, you see, as you see though, my income is nearly 7,000 a turn. I need a lot more of that money to handle everything. Oh, Governor General leveled up. Yep. Political reformer. That's good to reduce empire maintenance. And shut up there because of the reduction of empire maintenance. That's one of those big killers here income in the late game.
Oh, goody for you.
And pass an edict in Corsica and Sardinia. And you can pass a few edicts.
You seem to change your mind an awful lot when it comes to ending your term.
Well, you see, the thing is, I hit end turn, and that thing will tell me, oh, you have this thing to do. So I go, oh, okay, I better do that then. That's all it is.
Just so you know, viewers, he tends to second guess his every choice. He does that an awful lot.
Well, I try to be cautious.
You guys are shit, man. They're not very good at staying hidden, you know.
Well, it doesn't matter. Not like it's causing any trouble. I build a silver mine.
I guess
Yes.
there are no James Bonds or anything.
Spain and its silver mines, historically quite significant. One of the things that made it very valuable.
Silver mines, you say?
Yeah, I think it was full of silver mines and shit. That's what made it quite a valuable place for the Carthaginians.
Doesn't interest me unless they're gold mines. Silver is like for losers.
I built a shield maker there, so I can upgrade the armor of all my troops.
You should probably give your hidden agents some shields.
Not necessary.
Welcome. Speak.
Little Satani, they'll be a bane to me later on.
We don't want to speak.
I am sure you have many pleasantries for me,
And I get
but
to trade with the
please,
Wokai.
don't bother. Talk of meat, not honey.
I don't even know what that means.
The Wokai. When they talk of meat, not honey. Suppose he's saying talk as a thing of substance, not just sweet things. I think that's what he's saying about talk of meat, not honey.
Okay, because I was under the assumption he was talking about lambs or just, I don't know, any sort of animal, I don't know.
No. Should really think. And I see a bump with the taxes a wee bit. And I decide to bump the taxes up even more to regular level. Those people are getting taxed properly.
That's right, Kunagustus. Feel the power of money.
And I can go into civil development so I can get slight bonus to my research speed in that department.
Your agents, they're like the worst. They keep getting spotted. I'm sorry, but I have to lay it out there, man. Your
Come,
agents
let
suck.
me hear you.
I think I like you, don't want anything. But yeah, the Lusitani, they're quite a pain in the ass at the moment where I'm at, my campaign.
Why are they a pain in the ass?
So they suddenly just joined in on a war that I was already bogged down in.
And you weren't invited. Shame on them.
They joined in on a war that I was already bogged down in fighting against me, and they took some of my territory.
Well, that's just not nice.
And the thing is, I'm still busy fighting the Arabaki. Yeah, looks to start recruiting more Balearic slingers. Baleares funditores. Ah, Latin. As I can start getting some mercenaries with that. I like Carthage. Ligurian spears, a Gallic spear unit, Iberian Kaitrati, Numidian cavalry. I think some African mercenary levies. Never bothered with them. You know, you can start getting those guys from the next turn.
The Senate considers it wise to seek cooperation between us, to the hopeful ruination of mutual foes.
Okay, give me all your money.
Well, I refused that. I don't remember why I refused it. Probably figured there wasn't much point. Probably didn't want to get bogged into any wars at Rome.
We should have a drinking game every time your hidden agents are exposed, because this is getting ridiculous.
Well, you're gonna have to expect that this will happen a lot. It doesn't make much difference usually.
Fight for you, my lord.
We should have a round of Heineken every time.
But I don't
It
drink.
gets exposed.
So, looking over the recruiters. The one more Balearic slinger.
Cause requires noble men.
And then
Balearic singers, do they have like amazing singing voices?
slingers.
Slingers. I heard singers, not slingers.
I'll call a bit of a slurring on my words.
You'll have to excuse me, viewers. I have very bad hearing.
My hearing isn't the best either, yet I can still tell the difference. But yeah, then start recruiting one of the Gallic spear units and Ligurians. I can also get Greek mercenary hoplites. I forgot about including them. You can recruit Greek mercenary hoplites also. And they're pretty good.
I bet.
Well, in general, hoplites are pretty good, provided they are fighting in phalanx formation against enemies in front of them. Then they're pretty OP. Which is kind of the whole point of a phalanx. You know, you don't really want to be fighting it in the front. Very difficult to break. If you hit them in the flanks or behind, though, that's something. So yeah, Rome secured Magna Graecia, or Great Greece. Basically, they just took southern Italy. So yeah.
I don't have Heineken, but I have water on me, so I'll take a drink to that.
I get rid of those Libyan infantry to get some better troops. Just thinking about what I get. Looks like I get one unit of hoplites. And I'm just figuring what else to go for. Looks like I get some Kaitrati. They're actually pretty...
Kaitrati, like...
They're decent, but the best I can really make use of at the moment.
What would be your best?
For the mercenaries, for melee mercenary infantry, the Ambacti. But I won't get them till much later. It requires a final level mercenary barracks. Scutari are pretty good. Yeah, the Kaitrati are called Kaitrati because of their shields. They're small buckler shields.
Butler shields. Wow.
Whereas,
They hold like little circular...
yeah, like little circular shields.
Shield and everything, like a butler.
Buckler. Whereas Scutari have big shields, big oval shields. Hence their name, because scutum is the Latin for shield, and is generally used to refer to Roman shields, which were large.
I offer this in my lord's name.
Yeah, I refused their request for military access.
Dare you!
So I start figuring what I get for this army. Looks like I start recruiting some Libyan hoplites.
The nerve on them.
Yeah. And so far I haven't really recruited much Libyan cavalry this campaign. They're okay, but it's mainly because they're the reforms they become Libyan Phoenician cavalry, which is pretty good.
Maybe it just didn't cross your mind.
I suppose it's just because I have limited space and I just want to get for slightly better quality cavalry.
Athena gives wisdom, and Ares gives strength.
First one's piece again.
I give ends now. The storm is coming.
Oh, who was it that declared war? I suppose you didn't see that. But yeah, I think it was the Carthaginians going by my memory. Because they caused me a lot of grief.
For the glory of Carthage, baby.
Glory of the new city. That's what Carthage means.
We live to serve the mighty Carthage.
Get another unit of Scutari. Yeah. So that's my army there. Balearic Slingers, Numidian Cavalry. They're really cool, Numidian Cavalry.
Again, I keep hearing singers instead of slingers. I don't know why.
I give you greeting.
Let me fix your
and my
ears.
attention for the next few minutes.
Yeah, I can trade a
Make your
Macedon.
case, but without a lawyer's tedium.
No offense intended towards lawyers, not our problem.
Good. And people are...
Yeah, they don't want money. Rather, they don't want it to give me any money.
Take our money, damn it.
The gods of Olympus rejoice.
And trade with
The day
Athens.
is already old, and there is much to do.
Did you
So
have
if you
any
have
idea what
words,
we had to do to
speak
get
them.
this amount of money, man?
But the thing is, I'm asking them for money, not giving them my money.
All the same, they should be grateful.
To trade with Carthage, sure, but unfortunately they don't care. But it's not enough to
Bastards.
give me money. Yeah, so I'm at war with the Carthaginians. Yeah, so mercenary Libya Phoenician hoplites. Yeah. Scutari and those Gallic sword band. So now I'm in Sicily, recruiting some more, looks like. But doesn't look like I do much there. A lot of them you'll see me hovering over thinking, what would I recruit? And I may not recruit anything. Yeah. Valites Cantabrici Mercenari. Yeah, recruit 2 of them, and I think I recruit 2 Numidian javelins.
Oh lord, let me over here.
Yeah, well, it's all to protect Gadir from an incoming force. Does me a whole lot of good. And yet, here we have the first of the 2 battles for Gadir.
Here we go, some more action, baby. Let's do it.
Rather than a battle. Yeah, against 2 armies.
And already I hate this. No action whatsoever.